A city renowned for its picturesque landscape seems a fitting venue for the biggest prize the beautiful game has to offer. Chelsea and Manchester City will battle it out on Portuguese soil to become champions of Europe.
Doubt that the Blues deserve their place in the final.
In every game, in every moment, there lives our history, a history of our pride. From the sounds of the San Siro to the roar of the shed end.
It's Essien, the best goal that's ever been scored at Stamford Bridge.
Our pride runs deep. When they called us the underdogs, we played like champions. And we rose to the occasion.
This is Terry's header, and it's in! Well, if you weren't here, why weren't you here?
Even in our losses,
Everyone knows exactly what's going through his mind.
we found our strength. When they said they were invincible,
Weybridge can win it! He has!
they never were to us. These are the moments that make us. And then
Ziyech tries to put it in, they think it's...
there are the moments that haunt us.
I don't think the ball's over the line.
The unjust decisions.
It is a travesty of justice.
When our heroes
You
fell,
see glory!
we fell together.
And it's slipped, and it's wide, and we go on.
But we were ready for this moment.
Chelsea have done it! It's unbelievable! Drogba! Didier Drogba, with maybe his last kick of a ball for Chelsea Football Club. Bang is in! Chelsea win the Champions League!
Kings of Europe, our London was blue. These are the moments that make us. And now, with our new heroes, this is history in the making. An unexpected winner. And the old guard defiant and strong. But our will to win is stronger. This pride runs deep in our blood, in our people. This is our pride. These are the moments that make us Chelsea.
Are you ready? Hello and welcome to Matchday Live Champions League final special. The night has finally arrived. I am joined by Jason Cundy, Carlton Cole and Abby McCarthy. Jace, how are you, mate? It's been a long season and here we are.
After watching that VT, it's the first time I've seen it. Wow, that is... If that doesn't spike the emotions, then nothing will. That was very emotional.
You say that, you're an emotional guy. Love that about you. The coolest man I've ever met. I thought a little tear was coming out of your eye there, Cole. You were welling up and all, boy, weren't you?
Yeah, listen, this is what it's about. You've worked so hard to get to this position as a squad, as the players, and it's just one of those ones now is the time to just perform. Obviously, the fans are going to be nervous. You are, I've played in... well, it's not at this extent, but played in a playoff final when a lot was riding on that for your team. And you do have nerves, but you know you have to go out there and do a job. And I think the lads, they already know, they've really been prepared. They know exactly what they've got to go and do. And I think they're going to go and attack it.
Mate, I love that. See, I'm getting hyped for it now. This will get you hyped as well, Jace. Do you remember this from 2012? The celebrations in this very studio. Actually, it looks different nowadays, doesn't it? But have a look at this. Look at the facials on Jason, by the way, Coley. Have a look at this. Oh, he's going to bust a blood vessel in here.
Oh,
Honestly, a few people tweeted me about this today that they watched this. But it was remarkable because
this is the one.
I know, but the pain and the agony and it's. I mean, literally, it is right there. That's how we all felt, right? I mean, this is his destiny.
this is his destiny.
He's got on t-shirts.
Like, Frank was going to stop Didier taking the bet. I don't remember saying that. It wasn't until someone showed me it later. And I phoned first to Frank. I'm really shut up, Frank, shut up. It's like whatever Frank was going to say was not going to matter a jot what was going on in Munich. But, you know, sit in the same seats and all that. But what an unbelievable night. And honestly, I'd done the commentary with Chelsea TV when we lost against Manchester United. And I was lucky enough to be in the studio. yeah, when we won it in 12, and I'm so privileged to be here with you guys sitting here today as well.
When you won it in 12, we just won the playoff final, so it was a double whammy for me. I was happy because I spoke to Ashley Cole straight after the game, and he was buzzing.
Yeah, I bet.
So it was unreal. It was a good day.
So you are the good omen, mate, is that what you're saying?
I would say that.
Right, well, let's cross over to Abby McCarthy. Abby, good evening, how are you?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm on the more nervous side, I think, but, you know, we've got to feel confident, haven't we? So, hello, Chelsea fans. We make this show every single week for you, so we want to hear from you. Make sure you're getting involved on Twitter, @ChelseaFC. I'm going to be shouting you out throughout the show. So let's get some early good luck messages, shall we, from the Chelsea community. That will chill us all out, won't it? So, SBCFC, we believe in you boys. Do us proud and be our heroes. Let's hope it's their destiny tonight. This one's from King Bello. We can't wait for the 2021 heroes. Bring home the trophy to Stamford Bridge. This one's from Nick. Quietly confident in our boys. And, of course, in Tuchel we trust. He's a chameleon of tactical prowess. I mean, he has outsmarted Pep Guardiola twice now, you know, not to be underestimated. And one more here from Chelsea, OPYH. Bring it home, boys. Let this be the start of a career of winning for the likes of Mount, James and Havertz. I mean, I'd love to see that, wouldn't you?
See, that's exactly it, though, isn't it? It's the beginning of a process for everyone. You know, Cole, you must have seen a lot of Mason Mount over the last couple of seasons. Obviously at Derby in the last 2 years at Chelsea here as well. Kai Havertz, Reece James, so many younger players. When we won it in 12, it was quite an older squad. It was quite an ageing squad, and a lot of people felt that maybe, you know, if we didn't get it done on that night, that would be then. This is the beginning for this group of players, and that's got to be a huge amount of excitement for Chelsea fans.
It's unreal. Like, when you've got a squad so young but experienced as well, it just shows you how far Chelsea have come. And yes, the process was started with Frank, but now Tuchel's taken it to another level, and he's obviously bringing the tactics, giving the boys responsibility to know how to get out of a muck as well. So it's been brilliant to watch this season. I've seen it grow in stature. Obviously, at the start of the season, they were doing well, but then it got to a point where it got a bit stale. Then when it got stale, changed it around. Obviously, Tuchel's come in and he's just giving them new life, and it's just been a pleasure to watch from afar.
Jace, a chameleon of tactical prowess.
I like it. Very
that
poetic.
is stunning. That is a stunning description.
Very
That.
poetic.
I'm enjoying that. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, he's shown that he can turn his hand, you know, different tactics, different, you know, styles. The shape pretty much stays the same. He can go to a 3 at the back and maybe a 5 and then a 2 up top. He can alternate that, but more often than not, it's a 3-4-3, isn't it? That's what we're looking at. But yeah, there are little nuances in the tactics, you know, little things that perhaps we will see tonight about how do we press? Do we do a high press, or do we just sit and just contain? So there are little things that we'll be looking to do today, but fascinatingly, of course, the last 2 games we played Manchester City, we've managed to overcome them and beat them. They're the best side in the country. I do not underestimate the size of this task. It's huge.
Massive.
But there's a little bit of something going on. He's beaten them twice. I just wonder what Pep is going to do.
We had this chat yesterday, Colin, me and Jason, talking about how Chelsea are, I suppose, going into this knowing how we're going to shape-wise, how we're going to set up. You could probably, between the 4 of us, we could sit here and pick maybe 8, 9 of the players that are definitely going to start tonight for Chelsea. With Manchester City, there is always that in the back of your mind that goes, Pep might overthink it. Pep might do something completely different we've never seen before. As a player, do you want to be going into a game like tonight knowing the system, the shape, the formation you're going to be playing, the personnel, or do you want that to keep you on the edge of your seat to go, I might have to do something different tonight, it's a big game and I'm ready for it?
Well, knowing Pep and seeing how he is with his players, and he's a tactician, but he's a man manager as well. He can manage his team to success, as we know. He's changed his approach this season when it wasn't going well for him. He's changed his approach, changed the style. Started playing with a false 9, and that was I admire things like that, you know. So he is up there with one of the best managers to have managed in the Premier League, and for him personally, he's going to want to go out there and bring the trophy back to Manchester, but not if Thomas Tuchel can outsmart him like he has in the other games. He's done well, but what Man City fans might say is that, well, we fielded a weaker side, which for me it doesn't hold no weight, because when you're winning a game of football, whether you win it with a stronger side or a weaker side, doesn't matter. You've won that game. And mentally, for the players that are going on that field today, they'll think that they've got an edge on the other lads, especially against Manchester City. So we'll see what happens, but I really feel that mentally that Chelsea are in ascendance.
Jace, very, very quickly then, because we're going to start to build up and get very excited for the game ahead. How confident are you feeling now? We've had this little chat, you've seen the fans and everything like that, because the excitement's building more than the nervous energy inside me now.
Do you know what? I'm actually surprisingly quite calm and quite confident. I'm normally a bit of a mess right now, but I don't know, it feels very similar to 12. We went into it as underdogs, we weren't expected to beat Bayern, and eventually we somehow found a way to lift that title. I feel as though it kind of feels the same. We're underdogs. No one really expects us to go there and beat City, other than Chelsea fans know that we can. So right now, I'm all right. But, come back to me in an hour and a half and we'll see how things are going then, right?
Well, obviously, we've got every angle covered for you tonight, not just here at Stamford Bridge, but also in Portugal, Portuguese soil. We've got the brilliant Lee Parker talking us through how things are shaping up in Porto.
Hello and welcome to the team hotel here in Porto. So how are those pre-match nerves then, eh? Well, thankfully, boss Thomas Tuchel, his staff and the players are a lot more calm and composed than I am at the moment. More on that momentarily, but as you can probably see, I'm stood right in front of the impressive team bus. This is the vehicle that will be whisking Thomas Tuchel and his squad down to the Stadio Dragao in a short while in preparation for tonight's game. The players have been here throughout the course of the day. Once again, has been the case yesterday as well. It certainly is a beautiful setting up here in the Portuguese hills. They've had a walk and a stretch around the team hotel earlier on today. Pre-match meal, couple of meetings as well as the boss finalises his starting 11 and communicates that to his players before then heading down into the city centre. It's about a 15-minute journey down to the stadium where we're already seeing crowds of fans from both Chelsea and Man City building up and creating quite the atmosphere already. Well, loads to look forward to before kick-off as well. As part of the opening ceremony, we'll be enjoying performances from Marshmello and Selena Gomez, among others. Speaking of which, it's time now to hear from our own two sweet treats, Pat Nevin and Ben Andrews, who are already inside the stadium for us. Over to you, boys.
Right. We're feeling like you, folks. To be honest, we are. We're here. The ball is here. Zach is smartly dressed. Smarter than Carlton Cole, I might add. Someone get that man a jacket. And the team news is in, folks, and it's interesting. And Golo is fit to play. That's the big call. And it is Havertz, not Pulisic, up front. The Chelsea team, Mendy in goal. Rudiger, Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta. No surprises there, nor at wing-back, Reece James, Ben Chilwell. And N'Golo Kante fit for now. Keep an eye on him. And Jorginho in the middle. Werner, Mount, Havertz, the front three. City, as usual, fascinating. Pep's played three very different teams against us this season already. Well, now we've got no Rodri or Fernandinho in their holding midfield. Normally, he'd play two. Bizarre. Ederson in goal. Walker, Diaz, Stones and Zinchenko. Sterling is playing, we're guessing, up top. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Phil Foden and Gundogan. Zach and Pat with me. Pat, team news. Chelsea, we could have done 10 of 11 probably. There was only really one. City, God knows.
Well, we're comfortable with what we're doing. We know what we are doing. Everyone's been saying it. I think we've said it earlier on in the programme already. Sometimes Pep overthinks it. This looks to me like Pep's overthought it again. He's going to go for it. Like, this is a team that's going for it. There's so much, so many players that can score, so many players that can create in that team, but they haven't got anything obvious in that set midfield area. It's as if, they're not worried about us there, they're just worried about us going long. They're worrying about us again. It's really weird. It seems to do it every time. So, at this moment in time, I'm kind of really happy with what I'm seeing there.
Zach, one of the many things we're thinking about is causing them problems. Werner, maybe in that channel, leftish. Kyle Walker plays, he's quick. Cancelo, who's been such a big deal for them, on the bench, and neither holding midfielder. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, Mason Mount must look at that and go, wow, there's going to be a lot of space for me in that midfield. Yeah, I guess they've looked at Timo playing on that left wing, kind of thought about it and said, look, we need someone to catch up with him, because in the Premier League, when we played at the Etihad, Timo was causing them problems. He was constantly going at them. It was Bruno Diaz who won Player of the Year in the Premier League, who's been fantastic and deserves it, but he had a tough time dealing with Werner's pace, and that's why I guess Kyle Walker's there. But if I'm Mason right now, no Fernandinho, no Rodri, I'm looking so much space. Give me the ball. Get on your runs, Timo. I'll find you.
They can actually play Gundogan there. He's actually played a little bit deeper a couple of times, so
And
he can.
De Bruyne has done it before.
But would you want De Bruyne?
Very true.
You're right. He can, and he has played there. But
100% with Gundogan, he will not be playing the role we've seen him play quite a lot this year. He's definitely going to be deeper.
Oh, much deeper, without a doubt. But but then he's capable of doing it. But he's more of a passer. He's not a destroyer. I mean, he'll throw in a tackle, but he's more likely to hurt you than actually get the ball. So that's a dangerous thing to do. We're all talking about the possibilities that. By the way, that is brilliant.
Here they are arriving.
How classy is that?
Here they are arriving. That's a lovely welcome, isn't it? Off the bus just not so long ago, actually, folks.
Looks confident.
Oh, heart's beating, right?
Oh,
it must be. I know you didn't get nervous, Pat, but there'll be people there.
I would ask you, do you remember when, you would watch someone like Hazard walking? Do you think his heart was really beating?
No,
But there are
he is a freak
certain
as
people,
well.
there are certain unusual people that aren't really like that, are really quite calm in it. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being excited, being a little bit nervous. Some people, it really, really helps them. And just looking at the lads there, oh, look at that reaction. That's great. I tell you, I'm really impressed with that. Well done. Feeling the fans a little bit.
It does, yeah. I mean, whoever's the one that's on the video, they're lucky boys. But yeah, I'm sure that they've done this before. To them, this, as much as it is a Champions League final, they've played football, they've played 90 minutes many a times. It's just, this is at the top of their career, the pinnacle. I'm so excited. I'm so nervous, but I'm so excited.
Yeah, still like we've got to get through another 75 minutes. Obviously, we're going to do that with quality broadcasting, folks. Don't worry about that. But I do wish kickoff would get here. I can't wait to see those teams come out the tunnel. But this is a great greeting, isn't it? That's a brilliant little idea for 2021. Isn't technology brilliant?
It was just a wee moment there. I thought it was Ashley Cole who was there shouting them on. But it's a fantastic chance for those fans. But do you know what? It's a lovely lift for the players as well. They've really missed the fans, and you want that buzz. How's the hair looking today?
It's not too bad. I think again, better than mine. Fair play to Reece.
Class.
11 o'clock in the morning, Thomas Tuchel normally tells his team. That's what tends to happen. Obviously, they can take hints from how they're training, but generally speaking, 11 on the day of the game. I don't know if today has been any different or not, but there will be some people, and I know, yes, it's a squad game, especially in Europe, folks. 5 subs, don't forget that, more if needed later on. But there'll be some people who are thinking, I might be, I might not be, and there'll be some who'll be so thrilled, and there'll be some who will be gutted. Whether or not they may well come off the bench 8 minutes in and have a great night, or score the winner having come on in extra time. But you want that start. My God, you want to be the guy starting.
On the other hand, and this is very much the case at certain levels, now I think it is Champions League level, if you think you're going to get about half a match, you will always take a second. I know it's an odd thing to say, you will always take the second half. And there's a chance that could be longer tonight. Purely because the action, the finish, you can make the difference to the game. It will probably more likely be in the second half. So there's a bit, particularly if you're a forward player, you think, right, OK, deal with that now. I'll be upset about it later. But this could still be my night. And it's very much the case with Chelsea. Very much the case. We've got players like Christian Pulisic. He'll be thinking, right, I'd like to start.
It's the first one that springs to mind, isn't it?
But there's every chance that he'll be needed, and he could come on when others are tired, and he could win the game for us. And people 5 years down the line won't be thinking he was substitute. They'll be thinking he won the Champions League. That's the way you have to look at it.
Mario Götze and the World Cup, right? Won Germany the World Cup, and that's what everyone remembers.
No one remembers who started. Christoph Kramer started him. That's
only because you people weirdly remember all those sorts of things.
But absolutely, you're more than likely your hero could come off the bench. I'm thinking about maybe a swan song, if it is that, for Olivier Giroud. We've seen a certain Mr. Drogba do that once upon a time. You just don't know. Someone's going to be the headline maker, and it could be anyone who's in that 11 or on that bench.
Yeah.
Well, there's 5 subs is a lot, isn't it? Well, half the team.
Yeah, indeed.
Almost.
Yeah, the outfield boys as well, especially. And there's so many great storylines. There's so many great storylines from Thomas Tuchel last season with PSG coming to a new club and winning the Champions League. If they do it today, would be incredible. Mason Mount's incredible season, the academy boys, Reece James coming through, the experienced guard, Azpilicueta coming after when we won the Champions League back in 2012. He's a player that deserves it. It's beautiful, but that's football. That is football.
I'll throw in just one name that we don't always talk about, Thiago Silva. What a fabulous last moment. it would be for him if he walked up, and he got that finish to his career. And he might stay another year. He looks capable of playing another 5 years the way he's playing for us just now. But everyone's got their own story, and everyone can be really special.
And of course, City have got all of those themselves. Of course, they've got all their things that they want, and I feel like there's more pressure on them. In a way, you feel this has arrived at Chelsea earlier than perhaps the trajectory naturally might be. For City, they have this team, or the bulk of it, has been winning everything for the last few years, right? So this is their missing piece. 2012, it ceased to be Chelsea's missing piece, but you know what I mean? So there's almost... They almost have to win it more than Chelsea have to win it.
It's because we've been there. We know that feeling. When Roman came into the club, it's the pre-Roman, the Roman era, but you wanted it to happen. You knew that would make you a team that was historic, a team that has written history. And they did that, and it was fantastic. And then you can kind of relax a little bit. They can't do it yet. That's why there is tension, there is stress. And, Pep will know that as well. Pep looks a wee bit more relaxed than he's been in other competitions that I've seen him. But in actual fact, I think the team he's picked has told me again. His mind is... And it's maybe not... It'll work maybe really well for him. But he's definitely had an effect. I can tell something's happening behind us.
There's a little bit of booing going on, because down here beneath us, folks, are the Manchester City fans. They're this end, this side of the pitch, and that end. Chelsea, that end, and the far side. And the Chelsea boys have just come out having a little walk on the field. So we will hand you back to the studio. I just want to say one thing. Enjoyable to hear and see Kanté's behaviour from 2012 again. And just so you know, folks, sometimes he actually does that during commentary. I have commentated on 2 Didier Drogba goals, one at Wembley and one in the Nou Camp, where I was on the floor with my face in the concrete and Jason was on top of me, cuddling me, and I was saying things that were going out on air.
Careful,
that actually
Abby.
happens. So, Abby, look out. Back to you.
We've got all that to look forward to tonight then, Joe, have we? Well, they've given us plenty to think about, so let's have a little look at that Chelsea team then that the boys have given us. In goal, Edouard Mendy, a back three. We think of Cesar Azpilicueta, Antonio Rudiger and Thiago Silva between the two. Reece James and Ben Chilwell either side, and N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, and a front three of Mason Mount, Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. Now, the Cesar Azpilicueta, Reece James thing, Jace, is something that I know that all Chelsea fans have been asking the last couple of days. We don't know specifically what role each are going to play at the moment. We've seen Reece playing a back three, we've seen Azpi playing a back three. Which way would you go and why?
I find it very interesting, not deliberately not answering the question right now, but I find it very interesting that Sterling's playing. And I think that what we have seen with Thomas Tuchel doing that, he clearly has a fear and a worry that Azpi can't quite deal with pace, because he's done it for Vardy, and my assumption is Ollie Watkins. So as an opposition manager, you are now in your possession of some information about what the manager thinks about Azpi in that position. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So, I wonder now whether the reason that Sterling is now playing, I think Sterling might be playing down the middle.
Yeah.
And I think now he's thrown a question back to Thomas Tuchel and said, all right, if you think you're going to play Reece out wide right, I'm going to throw Sterling down the middle. What do you do? So now, does Thomas Tuchel then go, okay, I see your cards, and I do that, and I now swap. I put Reece back in centre half, and I now put Azpi. So both managers can do whatever they want, and neither have blinked. But I just wonder whether Tuchel has shown his hand by playing Reece in that position for the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And Pep has seized on it.
See, I find that very interesting. Obviously, we're just seeing pictures of the players having a little wander around the pitch at the moment, soaking up the atmosphere. Like the boys are telling us in Porto, there was a lot of noise you could hear in the background, and Tammy Abraham and Timo Werner there getting a real sense of what it is to be a Chelsea player in a big final. And I mean, this is exactly it, Cole. People have made a difficult trip to get over there, and every Chelsea fan that's over there will be thoroughly enjoying this evening until kick-off, and then I'm assuming it will be a horrible 90, if not 120 minutes or so until the results come. But now the team news is out. Jason's talking there about potentially Pep and Tuchel maybe trying to second-guess what each other's doing. We had this chat again, and I'm sure every Chelsea fan has done this the last couple of weeks, saying, will that be the case? Will they be doing that? The big one is the central midfield area, which we'll see the Manchester City team in a bit, but no Fernandinho, no Rodri. There's a lot of talk potentially both might play, one might play in there. When you've got N'Golo Kante and Jorginho as a 2, Mason maybe dropping a little bit deeper as well. That midfield area is so important to Chelsea. Now you've seen the lineups, Do you think that's an area that Chelsea could have a bit of joy in the season?
Yeah, because we've got Golo that can drive with the ball forward, and he's going to cause a massive problem for Man City. Don't underestimate that. So they're probably thinking, Man City are probably thinking, well, they've sacrificed something to get a result out of it, and they've sacrificed their defensive midfielders, and I just really can't get my head around it, to be honest. That's why what you're saying actually does make sense, because I
need to see what it looks like.
Yeah,
what that team on paper there doesn't tell me anything.
No.
I want to see what that team looks like in the formation. Is there something that we haven't quite seen yet? Is there another shape that we haven't second-guessed ourselves?
Is it a 4-1-4-1? Is it a 4...
And that's where we think that probably he's overthinking.
Yeah.
And that could work in Chelsea's favour, because when you overthink something, sometimes the answer is just in front of you. And he's just done something way out of the ordinary, and he looks like he's overthought this one, but it's Pep.
It's
you know, so I don't want to take it. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do. But as you said, I think that's what he might be thinking. Well, I'm not sure.
Well, let's have a look then, Abby. I'm guessing there's been a lot of reaction on social media, especially from a Chelsea perspective. Is it additionally positive and excited now?
Absolutely, everyone is buzzing about this team selection. I think maybe because there's not too many surprises. I think it's probably the team that we thought. I love this from RFC Matt 7. This is literally perfect. So this is the kind of energy and positivity we need going into a final. This one from Forever Blue 07. Hopefully all 11 of these players give their everything for that shirt tonight, and the result will take care of itself. Legends are born on nights like this. Seen Drogba tweeting, you know, when you're the underdogs and you play like champions, it's a pretty amazing narrative. We'd love to see that tonight. This one from American Hooligans. Pulisic, second half winner. Start building him a statue now. That's the thing, though, isn't it? We've got so many amazing players on the bench as well that can make such an impact. This one from Shreya Elizabeth, exactly the team I was going with. Mount, Havertz and Werner, absolutely deadly. Let's go, lads. And this one from CFC Du Bois basically sums up my feelings. Oh, my God, just win, please. I will pass out.
See, that's the kind of excitement that we're feeling in the studio, and obviously not just on social media, but all across the world there are Chelsea fans tonight that perhaps be cheering us on. Maybe one or two faces you might recognise. Check this one out.
Chelsea! Good luck in the Champions League final versus Manchester City, men. America, the MLS, and all of Austin FC are rooting for you. So Pulisic and the rest of you boys in blue, when you take the pitch, you know what you gotta do. Take the trophy. All right.
All right.
What a geezer.
All right.
Coley, to be fair, I thought that was a bit of you. I thought that was in your contacts book.
I don't know him. But he's a legend, though. Proper legend.
Good guy. But again, you see it, there's so many Chelsea fans across the world that tonight they'll be seeing it in all different parts of the world. They'll be cheering it on in different ways. Matthew McConaughey's cheering us on. I mean, this is the level of thing for a Champions League final. Even if you're not a massive football fan, you buy into it, don't you? Because it's an event, it's an occasion.
Well, everyone's a fan of football everywhere in the world. So when you're looking at this spectacle, and you've got two English teams in there, and a lot of people ain't been to Manchester, so they'll probably be supporting Chelsea anyway, because when they fly to Heathrow, didn't they? And listen, but all I've got to say is, look, it's a great spectacle right now, and then the lads have got such a massive task on their hands, but they can come away with the win because they know exactly what it takes.
Absolutely right. A player that could play a massive part tonight, N'Golo Kante. I mean, he always plays a massive part. Part of two people a lot of the time, we say, don't we? But he has been sensational this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely has. I mean, probably our best player, apart from maybe Mount for me. Just like, nobody can get past him. He's just the best ball winner out there for me, and obviously he's been absolutely flooded with love on socials as well. I'll read out a few because I feel like otherwise the game will be done. This one from Lungs: the key to beating Man City is N'Golo Kante. This one from Twizzles: Kante absolutely bossed the entire semi-final versus Real Madrid, which is a very good point. This one's great from Nightmare: 70% of the world is covered by water and the rest is covered by Kante. That's it, isn't it? He's everywhere. How does he do it? He's just a phenomenal force, isn't he?
He is sensational, isn't he? We've got some stats as well to back up how good N'Golo Kante is. I mean, not that we need that because you've seen it, but I mean, you just look at it here in terms of a player of his ability, Carlton, because again, we've all spoken about it there. You talk about his tracking, the way that he makes tackles, he breaks play up, tackles per game at 1.6. But that's not including interceptions, dispossessions, recoveries of the ball. And again, there's been a lot of criticism. If the only thing that I've ever heard criticised about N'Golo Kante is perhaps his ability in the final third. When it comes down to passing accuracy, 86.5%, he's playing 47 games.
Yeah.
That kind of snuffs out all of those doubters, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Look, he's the top player. He's won World Cups. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. This guy single-handedly can drive your team to success. He's done it with Leicester. Yeah. You know, so that's the sort of pedigree you've got in the side. And yeah, he did drop off a little bit a couple of years ago, but now he's back on it, and you can see that the drive and how everybody reacts around him. The whole team reacts around him. And that's what you want from your centre midfielder, because that's your engine. And if you've got an engine like that, the world's your oyster.
Absolutely. Well, a man that's slightly a little bit more mobile than N'Golo Kante, Jason Cundy's going to have a little bit of a closer look at him.
Yeah, we are. Look, he is a box-to-box midfielder. Abby made the point about winning the ball back. He does it everywhere. Look at these clips and look where he wins the ball and both boxes. So, he is an absolute freak of nature, this man. He had injuries and his engine is incredible. His energy levels early on. Have a look at the way we press the pitch high. He's out of pitch at the minute, but it's his positional sense where he is in the right place in the right time. And more often than not, when we talk about N'Golo, right place, right time. But it's an instinct. It's something that he has inbuilt in him. He's in the middle of your screen now. Watch his movement before the ball's played. He knows where the ball's going. He anticipates where that next pass is. So he's winning balls in the middle of the park. He's picking up passes on the edge of our box. Look what he does here on this occasion. Again, right place, right time. Just seems to know. And that's not by coincidence. Again, another occasion, he's now driving out the back.
Yeah, he's more proactive than reactive, isn't he? He thinks ahead of the game, doesn't he?
He does, but you've got to watch him out. He then anticipates again.
See?
It's quite remarkable, and I'm not so sure you can coach what he has got. It's something that is built. And again, the travelling with the ball, with this occasion, he wins a free kick. But on this one here, again, anticipates, sets up an attack. Nothing come of it on that occasion. But he's travelling with the ball as well. He's wonderful with it. So he does everything in the middle of the park. He wins the ball, keeps the ball, travels with the ball. He's a box-to-box midfielder, tackling on the edge of his own box, winning ball. Look at this, it's the last minute against United. So he's defending in his own box, picking up passes on the edge of their box, setting up attacks. There is pretty much nothing he cannot do. And today, when he limped off, we all felt the same. We're wondering, is he going to be fit? Because if he didn't play today, that is a huge, huge gap to fill.
See, that's the one as well, isn't it, Carlton? Because Jay labelled in there a box-to-box midfielder. A lot of people, perhaps when he first come from Leicester, was saying he's a defensive midfielder. He does the dirty work.
Yeah.
We had Claude Makelele on the show, didn't we? Not so long ago.
Yeah.
And Claude says he does so much more than just sits and ferries around in there.
Yeah.
You see there the way that he picks the ball up and he drives from deep. He's making things happen in the final third, which, again, someone that you think of N'Golo Kante, you think of winning the ball and giving it. He doesn't. He does so much more than that.
Yeah, but people, I just feel it's unfair that you put the goals up. Because, look, he's only got 3 goals, but that doesn't matter. It's what he does for the team. He's a driver of that team in that midfield. And he, as I said, he anticipates. He's a proactive footballer. He actually thinks ahead. And he'll see a ball coming towards him, but he'll know that he might not be able to win it, but he's already thinking about the knockdown. And that's what you want in your team. And he's a pleasure to watch. And a lot of people don't understand why he is so good. As you said, he's a freak of nature. And there's not a lot of people like that in the game. And there's only one on N'Golo Kante at the moment.
Absolutely. We could chat about N'Golo all day long, couldn't we, quite easily. Let's cross back over to Porto then. Boys, where can we hurt City today? Who's going to be important?
Yeah, there is only one N'Golo Kante. He is, in the nicest possible way, a freak. And the best line that anyone's ever said about him was actually said annoyingly, really annoyingly, by this man here who said that N'Golo operates 2 seconds in the future from everyone else. And it is so true. He knows these things are happening before anyone else does. And which brings me on in my mind, in terms of midfield work rate, to something we were just talking about here, how they're not playing either of their usual midfield dogs. And Zach has pointed out size.
Yes, the City squad aren't that big, and especially when you're playing a Chelsea side who have been very good at set pieces this year. I think leading the Premier League with them. There's only a few players I can name that are about 6 foot or at least big enough to make an effort in the box. Now, obviously, we're not going to be scoring every single corner. However, Diaz, Walker, Stones, and maybe Gundogan. maybe Gundogan, maybe KDB, but the rest, Sterling is tiny, Foden is tiny, and the list goes on. So yeah, I think we can. That's an area we can definitely attack.
Rodri is probably their tallest regular midfielder. Obviously, Fernandinho can stick the boot in even if he can't get around so much now, Pat. What that means is that there's going to be more work required for Foden, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan for sure.
What they want to make sure is they don't get the crosses in, particularly from set pieces. And the set pieces that we do get, and it doesn't actually have to be corners, it can be, you know, from other areas as well. I mean, I look at it, I know that Thiago Silva's going to attack everything. And just that you're saying that he loves attacking corners. He looks desperate. Rudiger's unbelievable at attacking corners. But what that's doing is that's leaving a little bit of space. And we've begun to see what Kai Havertz can do in those situations. And to be honest, when you watch historically what Kai did before he came to us, Kai is amazing at arriving in those sort of areas, like ghosting in. And even though he's a very, very tall player, he ghosts in unseen so many times. So that is definitely one area. And I mean, we still wait to see, is it going to be Azpilicueta or is it going to be Reece James a little bit further ahead? Well, with what you're suggesting there, with the height, I really, really hope it is Reece that's a little bit further ahead. Then we get those crosses in. And sometimes they're high and sometimes they're not. You know, he zips them in. But it's we're talking earlier on what's the best way to get through them, and it's over the top in our pace. Well, it's that. And now it's also the height as well. You know, and also those crosses coming in. I'm getting more excited the more this closer this gets. I'm seeing possibilities. And by the way, to take nothing from the fact that they're going for it, absolutely going for it with lots of creativity.
That would be the natural conclusion to come to from the City lineup, is they are going to go for it, probably right from kick-off, hard and fast and with all that quality. Just on something you touched on there, Pat, let's talk a little bit more about that Werner stretching in behind. Timo Werner, that left channel. Kyle Walker is in there against him, but clearly that was something at Wembley. It did work once, it nearly worked on 2 or 3 other occasions. And that's why he has to play.
Exactly, and it's not even necessarily the individuals that they play there, it's their style. They're high up the pitch, and because they're that high up the pitch, there is a gap to run into. Every striker wants to do that. Every striker, have a look at it here, that's exactly what it is. I mean, that's a gigantic amount of space to run into. You know, and he puts it in there, and obviously Ziyech has got his pace as well. But look at that, it's a dream. I don't think of it, oddly enough, from the striker's position. I think of it from the creator's position, because that was my job. I'm thinking, oh, there's a hell of a lot of space there. I can find that ball in there. I'll get it in between the defenders and the goalkeeper. And if you overcover, you know, you're stuffed as well. It's very, very interesting, very, very exciting. And I think they're trying to say, we'll keep the ball. We'll keep it completely. We'll get about 70 or 80% possession, and Chelsea won't be able to do that into the bottom corner, because they then start falling a little bit further back because we've started to break the lines, and they fall further and further and further back. Well, when you do that, you just cut it back to the 18-yard line. It strikes me they're giving themselves more problems. Having said that, you know, that sort of area where they're losing the ball with Rodri a couple of times there, Fernandinho doesn't do that as much. But it's an extraordinary thing that we managed to get that many goals from similar ideas. And I can't see any problem with us doing the same tonight.
When you know that Chelsea are going to do what Chelsea are going to do, you feel like that's set. You've got players who know their jobs. When you've got a coach in Pep who does change it so much, Zach, you maybe feel like that gives us the shade, just because he has put 4 so different teams out against Chelsea, just for example. But they can't be as in tune with it. I'm not suggesting for a second they're not brilliant. They are. They've got amazing footballers. But maybe they've had 4 days on this. This Chelsea side has had 4 months of Thomas Tuchel playing exactly like this. Square pegs, square holes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And look, we've said it many a times about Pep overthinking. That can be his downside. He's a fantastic manager, maybe one of the best to ever do it. But he's his own worst enemy. And we've seen that time and time again. I mean, his record in finals speaks for itself. It is fantastic. He's only lost 1 to Jose Mourinho. But I think Chelsea, I don't know about you guys, but when I saw that City lineup, my confidence grew a bit. Confidence grew a bit. There, of course, they've got fantastic players. Phil Foden is a fantastic player to watch. He can change the game whenever he wants. But from a Chelsea perspective, that lineup has given a hell of a lot more confidence.
Pat, if you're Tuchel seeing that team, when you see that team, does that affect anything in terms of how I'm talking about how he's talking to them in the dressing room before they come out the final chat? If he sees that, is he saying to them, do you think, I reckon they're going to come out and this is going to be a blitz for 10 minutes here. Or 20 minutes.
I'm a slight dog with a bone with his 3-5-2, right? Because Mason, he'd love to play in that inside forward position you're talking about, you're really higher up the 10s and the 8s, etc. And you've got Kai there as well, and possibly Timo Werner. Actually, that team you're playing against there needs a little bit more help in the midfield. So I think at that point in time, you're tempted to say, Mason, get back in there. Get back in there, help us a little bit. And if we get a chance to kill that space there that they are going to try and use really well. The other side to look at it is, to be fair, that's really brave from Pep. That's phenomenally brave from them. And the fact that he's that brave and that willing to be that open, and the day that he may win the Champions League, he wins it playing totally open, total football. He'll walk away with this and it'll be possibly the most special of his career, you know? So.
Right. Zach may be smart now, folks, but we had to get that especially for him. They opened up a little branch of Moss Bros just down the road outside the drag house so we could kit him up, because he didn't own a suit. Of course he didn't, he's young. But earlier on, in his civvies, he was out and about having some fun with the fans in the fan zone. Here's a little look at that.
We're here at the fan zone, behind the scenes right now, as you can tell, because the noise is immense. But we've had a great day. Interviewed Carlo Gocchini, spoke to Pat Nevin, but the fans, that's what it's about. It's brilliant. Go have a look at this.
Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. The fan bar looks incredible. We're all a little bit jealous, aren't we? They're over there. Shorts on, shirts on, arms up, singing along. They had Marvin Humes doing his DJ set there as well. Good old boy. He's got the branding on point, shirts on. Look at this lad here with the flag and everything. Loving life. Again, very jealous. A little bit, aren't
It's good to see, though, isn't it?
Oh, mate, it's amazing.
After what we've been through.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's a joy. I'm jealous, but at the same time, I'm very happy that we're sitting here and we can see those scenes.
Absolutely right. See, that's the thing, isn't it? There's so many fan parks all over the world, and even a couple a little bit closer to home. We've got loads of fan parties going. And here's one. Adam Robinson joins us from the Eastern Blues, based in Norfolk. Adam, how are you, mate? You got a partner with you as well. How are you? You well? The excitement's getting a little bit too big. I don't blame. How are we all? Are we looking forward to this tonight? We are live. We're live, boys. This is the magic of Zoom now. How are we? Are you looking forward to tonight? See, this is what we'd all be like, to be fair. If you've had a couple of hours in the sun, you're getting excitement. You're getting excited for it all. Boys, can you hear us? How are we? They're having too much fun. You can't blame them, to be fair, can you? We've all been there for a Zoom party. We've all done it. But hey, don't worry about it. There's plenty more to catch up on throughout the afternoon. And if you are having a fan party, then get us involved. Yeah, why not? Jace, on a night like tonight, if you weren't here with us, what would you be doing? What would be your evening routine?
I'd be with my boys. My boys are down in Frankie's. I'd be with my family. My two boys, massive Chelsea fans. That's what I'd be doing. But I'm lucky enough to be here at the home of Chelsea Football Club, to be doing it again here, and I'm going to go down and say hello to the boys as well. So.
With your adopted family?
Yes. Of course. You're my on-air family.
Abby, what about you? What would be the plan for tonight? Would you be a bit too nervous to do anything? Would you have snacks on the go? Or again, is it I can't eat because I'm too nervous?
Yeah, normally I can't eat because I'm too nervous. I haven't really even eaten today. I feel like I played the game yesterday in my own head. I'm not even a player. I reckon I'd be watching it in a pub though with a load of mates, just soaking up the atmosphere, singing along.
Coley, I couldn't even put FIFA on earlier. I was that nervous, mate. I was like, I can't even play it.
Shaking to press the button.
Big time. I thought, I've not got it in me. I don't know what I'm doing with it all, but it's exciting, isn't it? Nights like tonight, you have to enjoy for all it's worth. Whether you're in a fan park with your pals, whether you've just got your mates on Zoom because of how it is now, and you're watching it with your family from a distance. However you're enjoying it tonight, it's games like tonight. If you can enjoy it, because obviously you're not going to enjoy the actual game, you've got to enjoy it, haven't you?
Yeah, any way you can enjoy it, do it. Because look, we already know that Chelsea's been in the Champions League final before, and you remember that feeling, so you want to kind of replicate that to closer to get, because it was a great feeling after the game, wasn't it? So you'd love to get back to that, and especially, as I said, the year that we've had, it's been outstanding to get to this point. But I've seen a load of people tweeting me and all that sort of stuff that they've made their own little shed bar. There's been a lot of DIY during this period, isn't it? So it's been gearing up to this day, and it's worked out that it's landed on Chelsea's doorstep. So everyone that's done their new shed bar, like there's a shed end bar. I saw Katie. She had her dad's made a nice shed bar in the garden. Do you know what I mean? So it's perfect for a day like this. Perfect.
Well, if the result goes well, we can rewatch it all, can't we? Bank holiday, innit?
Exactly.
Rewatch it on a Monday.
Also, the bar named after you. Come on, spill.
Oh yeah, there's another bar, like everyone's doing these shed bars because everyone's had time on their hands, and there's another one called the Colton Cauldron.
Oh, look
the Colton Cauldron bar. So look, everyone's been at it and doing their own DIY at home, and they're making good use of their time.
Jace, we've spoken about it. Every Chelsea fan will have seen the similarities between 2012 and now. Does it have that feel of a 2012 night? Does it have that same? Because we've seen the similarities. We spoke about it with Mason Mount and Ben Chilwell, the first two players to score in a knockout Champions League game since Frank and John in Napoli all those years ago. We've seen the similarities. FA Cup final, maybe not quite sure if we were going to get top 4 football, and now here we are. Have you got the same socks on that you did have all those years ago?
Oh God, I can tell you what. It feels very similar, you know. Look, I remember when we got beat by United. Okay, at that time, that was our first Champions League final. And then going into that second one, it did feel as though Bayern had to win it. We're in their backyard. We were so unfancy. If you look at our route through, and we all remember Napoli away 3-1, and what we had to do, we got Barca, we go down to 10 men, we concede the goal, we're going out. It was, how have we got to this final? Again, how have we got to this final? If you think about what's happened to us again this season, and again, there's no reason why we cannot win this. Absolutely no reason whatsoever.
See, that's the thing as well, isn't it, Abby? Because you get those senses. As a Chelsea fan, we're all biased, but I mean, I've got full kit in there just in case I get to lift it.
Come on.
Just for the picture.
When you lift it.
When we lift it, absolutely. But that's it, isn't it? You have that feeling, and maybe you overthink things because you're a Chelsea fan and you want it to be that way, but at the same time, it does feel like there's so many similarities and things that have lined up the same way they did all those years ago.
Yeah, so many similarities. The main thing for me is just like how everyone wrote us off in 2012. I think even as fans, we were like, I can't believe we've got to the final, we're not going to do it. And yeah, the same this year, but I feel kind of quietly confident. Seeing City's lineup, as Zach said earlier, I feel a little bit more confident in this Chelsea side now that we could go all the way and do it and take home the trophy.
London club won the Championship playoff on that day, didn't they, as well, Coley? So
yeah, exactly. That's what I said. There's so many familiarities right now. Hopefully, it's the same energy that happens again, like replicate, because they always say lightning does strike.
It can sometimes strike twice.
Hang on, is that the exact line? That's the exact line. It can sometimes strike twice.
But obviously, Brentford, another London team, got through the playoffs today, so there are similarities. So hopefully, Chelsea could go and do it, because I want the trophy here and not in Manchester. So.
Jace, we saw Manchester United playing a final in the week against Villarreal, and their manager in the run-up to it was very much talking about the romantic side of 20 years ago. On that specific day they won it and he scored the winner, etc. And how many numbers played a part of it. As a manager, when you're going into, do you want someone like that? Do you want them to be overly emotional and romantic about it? Or do you want someone that we think with Thomas Tuchel is very honest, very to the point, sets his message out and says, look, it's the same as what we've done already to get here. Go about your business.
He talks in very simple talk, straightforward. We understand. There's no frills. It's his second language, but he gets his message across quite clearly and concisely. And when he speaks to the media, I get the feeling that that's probably how he speaks to the players. Here's what I want. Here I want it done, and this is how you're going to go and do it. And that's pretty much it. I'm guessing that's how things are, because when he speaks to us, the media, and he speaks to the TV, and when he speaks to the written press, and we hear his interviews, he's very simple. He speaks in a very simple language, but one that we all understand. And I think that when you look at what he's done, how quickly he's done it and got his message across, my guess is he probably does something very similar to the players. Football's not a complicated game. Don't complicate it. Here's your job. Here's how you do it, and here's how you're going to do it. And that appears to be so far the way things have gone, and long may that continue.
And if you're not doing it, I don't think you play.
No, he's proven that as well.
It's simple as that. It's a game where he wants to be a certain way and wants to play a certain style. If you don't fit into that, you don't play. So everyone has to buy into what he wants, and it looks like he's got where he's got to through that method.
I'm fully bought in, mate. Absolutely fully bought in. Obviously, tonight is the big conclusion of what has been a quite congested but a fantastic season overall. Preparations already in place for next season as well. A new kit has been launched, which is looking stunning. And we've announced a new partnership for next season with our friends at Trivago.
It's been a while since we've felt it. You know, the buzz of preparation, the tingle of nerves, the art of anticipation. But when it's time to go, we're ready. So ready. Let's go.
Man that is definitely going to be a part of this football club for a long time to come is Mason Mount, Carlton. I mean, we've waxed lyrical about him every minute of every second of every day for the last however long. He's been so impressive for Chelsea, so integral tonight. A lot of people obviously looking at the Mason Mount and Phil Foden kind of match-up that could be tonight. For Mason Mount, how important is he to this Chelsea team and how impressed have you been with him?
He's a massive component to what Tuchel, how the way Tuchel wants to play. Look, I always say he's a manager's dream. I think, as we were saying, he's, like Tuchel obviously very clear of his messages to the squad, and he's very clear of what he wants from his players. And Mason Mount's the type of player that will attack it concisely, efficiently, and he'll leave everything on that pitch. And he's a student of the game as well. I hear that he watches games back all the time, trying to improve his game, and that's why he's got to the level that he has. And I just feel that when you've got a player like that in your team, it sends a message to the rest of the boys to be on the same page, and he's done exactly that, and he's flying.
So that's not a surprise, is it, Abby, to hear about him being sort of studious in terms of a player, because he does seem like someone that every challenge has been laid in front of him. And again, there are a lot of people, maybe even one or two Chelsea fans themselves, when they saw Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech arrive in the summer, think Mason might struggle to get a starting berth here, but now when we look at the Chelsea team, when a lot of people do, he's the first name on the team sheet.
Yeah, he's always the first name on the sheet for me, just because of his work rate. But like you say, all these huge, expensive signings coming in, didn't start the first game under Tuchel, remember? And then obviously he saw something in training and learned that he's a very special player, and Chelsea is not the same team without him. He makes the players around him better. As you said, he leaves everything on the pitch. He gives 110% every single match, and he's just, we're lucky to have him. We really, really are. And what an exciting time for English football, the fact that we are talking about Foden, we are talking about Mount, you know. I'm hoping Foden's not quite on his game today, but you can save it for the Euros, though, don't you?
Exactly. But with Mason Mount as well, because we are... I think we all are fairly. I think we are biased because we've seen someone that's played for this football club from such a young age. You know, what was he, 8 years old, and there's that picture of him with the armband on playing in a full Chelsea kit. You've come through the academy yourself. You know that process is difficult. You've got to overcome so many challenges. Now, not only is he doing it for his club and his country as well, he seems like the sort of player to me that everything that comes, he never seems overawed. He never seems sort of content or settle back with it. He seems like the person that's going to develop and keep progressing. Did you have that as a player as well? Is that a mentality you have to have as a young player coming through?
Yeah, listen, you have to have a mindset where you're not influenced by the outside noise. You have to be very, very on it every day, and especially when you know that you have to perform at such a big club, because it has to. You don't get second, third chances at clubs like these. You have to be on the ball, and he's recognised that from a young age. He's a very intelligent footballer, very intelligent probably at school as well, so he understands it. Frank Lampard was the same. He was very knowledgeable about the game, but understood what it took emotionally and physically to get to a certain level, so to go on to be a great player. And he's obviously, having seen coming under Frank Lampard and having him and seeing how Frank probably works at Derby and the advice that he's probably given him to go into bigger and better things, it's only been good for the club.
Oh, massively, mate. And Jason, I know you're going to have a look at Manchester City, who've kind of got their own Mason Mount, if that's what we're calling him.
But Gareth Southgate, I've just made the book. Gareth Southgate's a lucky boy. He's got two of the most young, exciting prospects in European football in the middle of the park, in Mason Mount and, of course, Phil Foden. And then people compare them, understandably, I get that. They're two very different types of players. Mason's energy, he's the best I see on this half turn. Watch the way he stands, the way he brings that ball around. He does that every single time. He's wonderful at it. Something that perhaps goes under the radar a little bit about he receives the ball on the half turn and gets into that space. He's there, watch at the top of your screen. I mean, in the end, it turns into an easy finish, but he gets on the end of it. And this is a part of his game, I think Carlton might have mentioned a second ago. Can he add goals to his game? Because that's, if he adds goals to his game, then he can be one of the very best midfielders in the world. Then you look at what Manchester City have got. Well, look, he's a precocious talent in Phil Foden. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Talent, abundance of it. He's got a wonderful turn of pace, a great eye, a pass, goals. There is nothing he cannot do. Believe me. Disappointed from our point of view the way he conceded the ball. No one's picking him up. Thiago's gone on his backside and no one really reacts. But it's a nice finish. But you're looking at two of the best young midfielders in world football. Gareth Southgate this summer is a lucky, lucky boy. They can both play in the same team.
Absolutely right, mate. He is a very lucky boy. Obviously, all the build-up continuing to those two matching up. Chelsea versus Manchester City in the Champions League final. Plenty of people wanting to have their say, including another familiar face who's wishing his good luck to Chelsea.
Chelsea fans, what's going on? It's Marvin Humes here. Just want to send the boys a good luck message. I'm out here in Porto right now. Looking forward to the match. I'm predicting 2-1 win. Timo Werner to get the winner. All the best, lads.
Amazing. I mean, he's a good friend of mine, so I've had a few messages off him recently, which I've had to mute him because obviously he's busy over in Porto and I don't want to hear it, really, to be brutally honest with you. Right, so we've got some very famous faces also joining us on Zoom as well, haven't we? So this is going to be quite exciting. Two massive Chelsea fans in Josh Hart and Larry Nance. Boys, both NBA players, but I mean, tonight I'm just going to call you Chelsea fans in general. How are we? Are we well?
We're doing great.
Josh, I'll start with you because I know both of you are massive Chelsea fans, but what are you going to be doing this evening? Obviously, you're not together, but I'm assuming in spirit you are.
Yeah, no, definitely in spirit. I'm just going to be just kicking it here with my fiance. She used to play soccer, so we're going to sit here and watch this. I don't want to be around too many people, just in case. So just going to do that.
We just spoke about Mason Mount, Jason, giving us a big introduction to how brilliant he is. I know you're a massive fan because there's a video of you going viral wearing your Mason Mount shirt. I know you're quite good friends with him as well, aren't you now? Hey, there we go.
Got mine on today, man. Yeah, I hit him up yesterday, just told him good luck and everything, and I'm just excited for him. Being, how good he is and the potential he has right now, just being so young and being in the Champions League final at 22 is amazing. So good luck to him, and hopefully he can take the trophy back to London for us.
Larry, I heard you on the Chelsea Mic'd Up podcast this week, and you struggled to pick a favourite player between Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic. You've had a little while longer to think about that. Have you made a decision on that yet, mate?
I don't think it's fair to make a decision. They're both so terrific. I mean, obviously, I was just listening to you guys talk about Mason and how terrific he is, but after seeing the starting 11, I'm just incredibly excited for, the whatever minute it is, 60, 65, that Christian gets to go on and hopefully make a big difference for us. So I love them both equally, but those two stand out for me.
We know how incredible Christian Pulisic is, and like you said, he's probably going to have a huge impact this evening off the bench. When you see, obviously, from a perspective of being biased, us here in Mason Mount, we have that same connection that you do with Christian Pulisic. But from afar, how impressed have you been with him this season, especially overcoming the injuries and things that he's had to overcome?
I mean, he's been incredibly impressive. Obviously he's a massive talent and somebody that everybody on this side of the water is so proud of, and everything he does, we cheer because he's one of our own. But just the injuries he's had to overcome, the coaching change, the ups, the downs. Going through it myself as an athlete. This year dealing with everything that's been going on has been difficult. So the fact that he's still stayed at it and thrived and has got a chance to, win a Champions League final is a testament to his resiliency. And, I know myself, but all of us over here are just, that's our boy. We love him.
Josh, obviously you don't play for the same team. You're on opposition teams. You'll be competing against each other a fair amount over your careers as long as they do continue. But how have you become friends? Because we find this quite strange when footballers become friends from opposition teams. So can you let us into a little secret? Was it a bond and a love of Chelsea?
Yeah, no, actually, so my rookie year, I was drafted to, LA to the Lakers, and that's where Larry was. So we were teammates for like 7 months, I guess. He got traded that trade deadline that year. But we kind of started that friendship there. We had a lot of similar interests. Obviously, Chelsea was a massive one. And then we just stayed close, for I don't know how many years. He's actually going to be, one of the groomsmen in my wedding this, at the end of the summer. So, it's just a bond that we've built over the last 4 or 5 years. And definitely, that's my guy. I won't say that too much to him, to get him, but that's my guy.
You're making me tear up over here, man.
You're saying that. I think Colton was putting his hand up for the stag do. I thought you were interested in that, weren't you?
If I'm invited.
Josh, we've obviously seen the players have to deal with the difficulty of playing in front of no fans this season, behind closed doors. You've had the same in the NBA. How did you find that, and how did you overcome that as a player?
Honestly, it's terrible. It is terrible sometimes, but luckily in New Orleans we were able to have a little bit of fans, so we were able to have a little bit of kind of like a sixth man, so to say. But it just kind of brings you guys closer together. That bond that you guys have, you guys got to bring your own energy. You can't really depend on the crowd or anything like that. So it just kind of brings you closer together. A little bit of adversity, but. That's where, winning is made. That's where legends are made. So.
Oh, mate, massively. And see, this is the thing, isn't it? We're getting closer to kickoff, and now everyone in the studio is getting a little bit, I suppose, nervous again. Every time we think about it, every time I look across and I catch the eye line of Jason, he gets a little bit more nervous.
He's swinging on his chair.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Larry, I'm going to ask you, how's tonight going to go, and are you going to settle us all down?
Oh, please. I'll settle you down easy. This is going to be a breeze. This is going to be a walk in the park. We've done it before. We've been there before. 2-0.
Oh.
2-0 to the Blues. 2-0 to the Blues. Yes, I feel confident. The boys are raring to go, and I think
Josh, what about you? You going 2-0 as well, Josh, or are you as confident as Larry is, or?
Hey, that's my guy. I'm going to go right there with him. So I'm saying 2-0. Hopefully we can get a Christian and Mason. Both of those guys score goals, and, all parties are going to be happy. So 2-0, and, let's speak it into existence.
Love that. And Larry, just finally as well, can you tell us how you fell in love with the football club? Because everyone's got their own personal, amazing story about how they came to be a Chelsea fan. I'd love to hear yours.
So for me, a little bit of a winding road. So I played soccer growing up, and football. So I played football growing up, and was watching the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. My favorite player during that was Samuel Eto'o, and then I started getting serious about basketball and got away from watching soccer as much. And when I came back, Eto'o, I think it was 2013. Eto'o was with the Blues just for a year, but he just happened to be with Chelsea, and so I just knew that was my favorite player. So I started watching them, and of course, how could you not fall in love with that team? With that team after you watch them for a little bit. So it was Eto'o that originally brought me, but I mean the legends that got me to stay. It goes on. The list goes on and on. But I mean, my all-time favorite is Eden Hazard is. Oh. He's still that's still my boy. That's who was that's who.
Bring him home, Larry. Bring him home.
I'll start the campaign right now.
Josh, what about yours? Is it a similar story? Is it a specific player? Is it a moment? Is it coming to the ground? What is it?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So growing up, obviously, American soccer was a little subpar. So, watching the World Cup, I was watching England. That's when they had Peter Crouch, Wayne Rooney, Frank Lampard, John Terry. And then I just kind of gravitated because obviously Frank Lampard and John Terry were Blues, so I kind of gravitated to there. And then I just kind of started going with it from high school to college. Then, I started being a really, really avid fan, and I started learning more about soccer in the last 3 or 4 years. So, I'm excited about it a little bit. Not as detailed as Larry. He got a little bit more tradition, but I'm gonna have to make up for that.
Boys, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully, we'll be speaking to you at full time, celebrating a massive night, and then I think we'll be here for another couple of days if we're celebrating a full time, won't we? Boys, thank you so much. Enjoy the game, and hopefully we'll speak to you in a bit. Thank you very much for your time. We've got so much build up to Chelsea and Manchester City, the Champions League final. Time now to hear to the man who has to sort it all out for us, the manager, Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas, first of all, this isn't a bad setting, is it? How are you and how are the group?
Perfect setting. If you can wish for something, you wish to be here in this hotel with this view and have 1 day spare before the match. This is exactly what we wanted. That's why we arrived a bit early. So we had yesterday a good training session and the trip, and today we have some time to relax, to enjoy and to prepare for the evening training in the stadium.
How important is that for the collective mindset to be relaxed and focused in that way?
Yeah, I think this is the mix, to be relaxed and focused at the same time, but we cannot push too hard. We have to trust ourselves that we give everything. This is the foundation of success, and it needs to be a mix between also some minutes and hours of relaxation and having some good times together off the pitch. This is what we wanted. We had this in Sevilla when we stayed one night longer, when we arrived 1 day earlier, because we knew the hotel, we knew the weather. Would be absolutely fine to sit outside on the terrace, drink a cup of coffee, and these things are important right now because we want to connect to our inner self and we want to appreciate where we are, and it's a good moment for that, and still we have trust that when we enter the pitch and when we enter the pitch tomorrow, we will be furious, competitive.
How has this week been? Because you've had a clear week, obviously, following the Villa game to prepare.
To be careful now not to do too much. Physically and mentally, I don't want to do too many meetings, not too much information, not too much training. This is the danger for the coaching staff. So we decided to have 1 day off and started training on Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. Today is more or less the last training to get used a bit to the pitch and the circumstances in the stadium here in Porto. And for tomorrow is the usual two meetings and then a pre-match meal, and then we go to the stadium.
Without giving too much away, when do you settle on your team? When do you know your starting 11?
I know it's pretty much that we have three positions to think about, and I, like always, like usual, I will take my time for this. I will wait until the last training is over, observe things and check some characteristics of the opponents. What do we think? These decisions are made tonight in the evening or maybe tomorrow morning. There are 3 positions where we think about. I will not tell which ones, and I think there will also be some players who are very well aware that they will start, and this is also good.
At what point do you communicate that with the players?
It depends. Sometimes I tell it in the meeting. Sometimes I tell the players before. Sometimes one player of the 3 players I told already that I'm not sure if he will start or come from the bench. It depends. It depends to the situation. Is the player used to have maybe a bit of on-off situation, start, not start? Does the player absolutely think he starts? Then I will talk to him in private and tell him the reasons, so he's not like super surprised in the meeting. It depends to the situation and the player and which moment we are.
Should be a special occasion, and also special to have the fans with us as well.
Yeah, absolutely. To have my family around is absolutely fantastic. Not only my wife and my kids, but also my parents have the possibility to join. I don't know when this was last the case and in such a big game. So I'm absolutely grateful for that. And it's nice to have the fans back, and the stadium is a fantastic stadium. So hopefully we get a good atmosphere, and atmosphere that's worth playing a final.
We wish you luck.
Thank you very much.
So here's the team that Thomas Tuchel has selected for Chelsea tonight in the Champions League final against Manchester City. Boys, I want to talk to you about the manager because he's obviously coming up against Pep Guardiola, one of the best in the business tonight. Jace, he's got the better of him twice already this season. I suppose third time's the charm, hopefully, tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, they will know one another because managers of this class, elite managers, they will go on courses together, they will spend time together, they will discuss football together. They will know one another very, very well. But of course, today, it's about the brains, about the tactical side of the game, picking players for certain jobs and carrying out those jobs to the letter that they exactly want, set pieces, certain areas of the pitch, how do the team set it? There's so much into it, but they will have a huge amount of respect for one another. There is no doubt about that. We understand and know exactly what and who Pep is, He is a magnificent manager. Has proven that on numerous occasions. This season, they've just played in every single game except for one that they entered, and that would have been the FA Cup final. We knocked them out the semi-final. So, look, I said before, the size of the task is huge, but it's possible. This is not an impossible task, and both managers know it.
Well, two great teams and two great minds coming up against each other. It's kind of what you want in a Champions League final, Carlton, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's going to be a game of chess, I think. Like, obviously it's football, but it's going to be like fitting the pieces, who's doing well in what position, analysing. Okay, I might need to change this. I might need to change this guy. Put him up on the right side. Put him on the left side. It just depends. But they're only going to be able to figure it out properly of what they're going to go for when that whistle blows. And look, good luck to them both. But obviously more luck to Tuchel, because you want to see him win and come out on top.
Absolutely right. It is time for everyone's favourite time. Quiz time, right? So we're doing a Champions League final special quiz. So basically, I'm going to ask you the names that have been starting in a Champions League final for Chelsea. There are 18 names in total. If you name a player that's been on the bench, I'll give you another chance. Not including today, of course, because when this was set up. So Jace, I'll start with you then. A player that has started in a Champions League final for Chelsea, please.
Check.
Correct. Started both. Voted fans man of the match in 2012. Carlton. Hey, mate, it's hard under the lights, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hard. So can you repeat that one?
2008 or 2012 Champions League final that Chelsea have played. Anyone that started either of the games?
You
can go dead obvious and get it out early if you want. Think of the most obvious players you can think of. Champions League Chelsea.
Come on. Who scored?
Drogba.
Yeah, bang on, obviously.
Thank you.
Abby.
Frank Lampard.
Frank Lampard, correct. Skipper in 2012. Jace.
Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole started both, correct. Carlton.
John Terry.
Yes, started in 08, of course, suspended for the final in 12. Abby.
Oh, I was going to go John Terry. Dennis Wise?
No, unfortunately not. Abby, you're gone.
Oh.
Finito.
Gutted.
Cutthroat. Jace, you and Carlton head to head.
Basingwa.
Correct. Well done. Yeah. Oh. Hey, little bit there. Carlton.
Branislav.
He was suspended in 2012, wasn't he?
Oh.
Suspended. Unfortunately not. Hey, it's a good guess, but it's not a right one, I'm afraid. Jason Cundy, congratulations, mate. That's 2 for 2 for Jace as well, Abby.
What's that?
Don't act surprised, guys. Don't act surprised. Come on.
But again, we've not done tonight, obviously, because of we didn't know the lineup beforehand.
Yeah,
but when you go through that list of names, I mean, names that we didn't mention: Claude Makelele, Joe Cole, Florent Malouda, David Luiz, John Obi Mikel. So many legends. Michael Essien, Ricardo Cavallo. These are players that go down in Chelsea's history. That's another thing for Chelsea players tonight, Carlton, is you play well. You're part of the narrative and the fabric that is this football club forever.
And that's what everybody wants. As a player, you want to leave the game with winning something, being adhered to by the fans. Like, the fans will always remember you. So when you're walking down the street, when you're walking down King's Road, they'll come up to you for your signature. So these things all culminate into the character that you leave the game with. And it's just nice to have that with you when you're dying on your bed, and you can think about what you've done in the game, and you'll always know that you've got a home at Chelsea.
One name then, Carlton. Who's gonna steal the headlines for Chelsea tonight?
It's got to be N'Golo Kante, I think. I can't get past him.
I think that's perfect. Abby, one name.
I think our rising star, Mason Mount.
Yeah. Mason's going to be one, isn't he, Jace? There's so many you can pick from. Who are you going to go for?
I did say Mason yesterday, but you know what? Something about Timo Werner. He's had one of those tricky seasons, but maybe, just maybe, it might be, isn't it?
He's won a lot of people talking about Timo Werner as first goal scorer as well. Have you got him on play predictor? You went 1-0, so did I.
I've got Mason.
You've got Mason.
I've got Mason, but you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if Timo just rocks up.
Yeah. Coley, have you got a prediction?
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I'll tell you why, because when I predict, it usually goes the other way. And
don't say anything.
No.
That's it. I've heard enough.
you've gone that because you've gone.
And I can't go the other way on Chelsea TV.
Well, absolutely.
So
we will leave it there. We will leave it there, mate. Thank you very much. That is it then. We are finished. We are seconds away from Chelsea and Manchester City in the Champions League final, live from Porto.
Since I arrived here in 2012, I always had the belief and the confidence that we could fight for everything.
Like I said, when I arrived here, I want to come here to win titles, and we have the goal to come very far in this competition.
The Champions League returns to Stamford Bridge as Chelsea kick off their Group E campaign with the visit on Sevilla. Suso floats it far side, the header's down, good save from Mendy. Point shared on opening night between Chelsea and Sevilla.
Havertz has made a move forward, here he is, looking for Hudson-Odoi, this is better! Oh, and it is a goal! This is Werner, looks to play it back here, Ziyech, twists, turns, finds the corner!
You know, in the Champions League, there's no easy games. Every game's tough. Obviously, securing the win today puts us top in the group.
As soon as Mason got the ball, he won it back really well, and he looked up. I knew that he would find me straight away because I was through on goal. As soon as I got it, I was confident I was going to score. I looked up, I looked to the keeper, I saw his position, and I just slotted it away, which I'm really happy with as well.
Great chance as stoppage time begins as Giroud!
Yeah. We knew that if we came and got the win, we would be going through to the next round, so we're really delighted.
You can only arrive in the final of the Champions League if you make it to the group stage, and Frank had an amazing record in group stage of Champions League.
Buried. Chelsea have got 4 and Olivier Giroud has got the lot.
And this lays the foundation to arrive in the finals, and I will never forget it. We are well aware that we stepped in the half of the season and tried to fulfill the job that he has begun. I have trust in my team, I have trust in the power of this club, and we will go to Bucharest together for a good result and finish it here at Stamford Bridge.
We know that we are facing a very strong team with experience in the competition, with a manager that they have been working together for a few years, and we have to try to play our game. And obviously we are playing away from home. We know that every goal is very important, so we try to play our game, to control the game, to try to create chances, and to be clinical in front and defend well.
From Alonso, oh, it nearly fell for Giroud, it did from Mount, and there's Giroud! Yeah! Oh, what a goal! Oh no, it's not going to count.
It was a long wait, almost 3 minutes, I heard. But anyway, the most important is it was the goal.
You are joking! It must have come off an Atletico player.
I saw the flag, but then I saw quickly Mason. We had no picture on the bench where we could definitely see it, but Mason said he did not touch it at last. So we had hopes, but yeah, it was a 50-50 situation for me. We were hoping, and it was a big reward.
We need to keep the same focus, the same commitment for the second leg, and hopefully we're going to go through for the quarterfinal.
With Diego Simeone, Atletico became one of the toughest teams to beat in Europe over years and years and years.
He defends his badge, I defend mine, and this is all. Because Atletico is not only Luis Suarez. We cannot sit back and just think, yeah, we can play on 1-1 or something like this. No. This is top class football, and we know we have to do more than that.
We will prepare the game to win it.
Gave us a little bit more space to breathe and trying to control the game more and more. And the timing was good.
The overall performance, the attitude and the constant support from our bench and from the stands, from our players. I feel that this is a huge team effort and the guys are totally reliable. We were missing a lot of quality today, also a lot of personality. So the guys who were there stepped up and played such a reliable game on such a high level. This is amazing. I'm very, very happy for the players.
I think all the Chelsea fans all over the world are happy, so yeah, it's a good evening.
Quarter-final in Champions League, this means that you play 4 halves and 4 times 45 minutes minimum of high level football. That means we need to be fully focused.
I think this Chelsea team can go very far, and we are with every game more and more confident in ourselves. So we are ready for every opponent and every challenge which will come.
That's a great take from Mount! Yeah. Away goal for Chelsea! And Mason Mount, who's having a great 2021 for goals, scores his first in the Champions League.
Yeah, massive win. We knew how tough it was going to be. They're a very good team, but I feel like we showed a lot of character tonight. Showed a lot of passion, desire to win.
Ben Chilwell going through, going round the keeper, surely it's 2!
I don't know what come over me to try and go round him, and yeah, thankfully it paid off, and first goal with the right foot as well.
We knew the occasion, how big it is to get off to a good start in a 2-legged game, but this is only half done, but it's obviously a good lead going into the second game.
We knew it wasn't going to be easy at all, and they showed that they bring a lot of intensity. They didn't make it easy on us at any point in this tie.
If we need to accept defeat, we take it today. A late goal that was not deserved, but I'm happy that it was the last minute. You need to accept sometimes that you don't see maybe you don't see the very best performance on the ball. But what we always could rely on was the fighting spirit. The level is so high. If you arrive in semi-final in Champions League, and we want to play hungry, we want to play adventurous.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a big fight over 2 games. Obviously, they're very experienced in this competition.
I feel a strong bond within the squad, ready to work together, to suffer together, and when it's needed to respond to the questions, if it's necessary to fight, to fight.
We're going to need to go out and yeah, have a lot of confidence.
He's trying to score himself instead. He's done it! Christian Pulisic!
We started on fire. We came out like we wanted to win. We did that the whole game.
The result was not on our side. It was 1-1 suddenly from out of nothing. So you have to cope with it because it increased the self-confidence from Real, and you have to fight against it. We are very well aware that we need another top performance, and to go through, it's a draw. Everything is possible. It's Real Madrid in semi-final. We should more focus on what is absolutely necessary on our side to be ready to give them a hard time, and this is what we try.
They got a huge experience in these kind of games, and you know that can show. But I think we know we are a difficult team to score against at the moment.
That's the dream of every footballer who becomes a footballer, and a dream of every kid who's sitting in front of the TV watching those games, the semi-finals. And now we want more.
To hang in there and to show real mentality, to hang in, to go for second goal constantly, never lose focus. Big performance.
probably a bit of a relief. The goal was obviously after so many chances going away from us. You can see from the celebrations how much it meant to us.
It feels so good because it feels well deserved, and it's such a big step to overcome Real Madrid in a semi-final, and amazing team effort again. What an energy, what a positive attitude, what a work rate, fantastic. Honestly, it's a pleasure to be at the sideline for this team and fight with them.
It's been a long effort since the beginning of the season to qualify, to go through every stage, and to qualify for the final is a huge achievement. But now is the last step, and we hope to finish well.
We haven't done it yet. That's the most important thing. We need to finish it off one more game, but we can look at the game tonight and take so much positives from it. We could have scored more. It could have been 5 probably. But look, that's something we need to look at, and we're going to keep getting better and better. That's the team we have, that's the mentality we have in this group.